One thing I noticed about myself, I think, thoughts is powerful in all facets. Because even my career, even my life, things end up turning out exactly how I visualized it. Not in this time frame I expected, but I just had clear visions. And your thoughts powerful. That shit come to life if you stick to your script. The name of the brand obviously is the Marathon. And it just stands for endurance. It stands for staying down. It stands for not quitting. Accepting the ups and downs of whatever game you commit yourself to and riding it out, you feel me? That's the reality of success or greatness, that it comes with a roller coaster ride. I think that anybody could apply the marathon concept to what they do. If it's sports, if it's fashion, if it's music, if it's hustling, whatever, you on a marathon.
One point, and just like Lucifer falling in love with himself and getting kicked out of heaven and fell in consciousness, we fell in consciousness. So we fell in consciousness. Now the only way we can get back up there is if we rise through love, and that was the only way to bring our consciousness back up. These stories are about us. We were in heaven. This is the key, that we were in heaven. We fell in consciousness down to Malkuth, which is earth. But how do we rise in consciousness? Matthew 10:16, we need to be innocent as doves, but wise as serpents. That's because the snake goes up to be an eagle. So the root chakra to the crown chakra, 144, the 144,000 go to heaven. This is a frequency, this is a vibration. You gotta raise your vibrational frequency. The whole point is to raise your vibration. You have this kundalini energy that falls and goes back up depending on your hormones. You have the sun and you have the moon. You have the Horus's eye and you have the moon. Horus, moon, hormones. And then just like how women have a menstrual cycle, men have a cycle too. You have the three gifts from the wise men. That is from your pineal gland. You have your dopamine, serotonin, melatonin, and it falls, creates the chrism oil, rises back up to Christ consciousness. This, society has basically externalized everything of what you are, everything that is sacred about you. They've externalized it. You are the Holy Grail. Your neck is in your head. That's the chalice. You have the fountain of youth, which is the cerebral spinal fluid that falls down in consciousness and comes back up. You have Pandora's box, which is your heart. They make you externalize all of these gifts.
I asked someone a week ago, how much is America in debt? And they were like, this many trillion. And then I asked a rhetorical question, but the dumbest question I've ever asked myself. I said, how much does the earth cost?
All the things on earth.
Yeah. And it's saying we can't buy it. We couldn't make enough money to buy the earth. That means we made money. So if money is the key to all people's happiness and will solve everything and everyone's doing things for money, let's just make more money. But it's not about making more money. It's about keeping poor people poor and rich people rich, and keeping people in their place. And right now, we're experiencing the fall of Rome, or the Titanic has now hit a glacier. And there's people who would prefer to go down with the Titanic than to get on a lifeboat because they don't want to get seawater on their dress or on their nice outfit. People are so programmed and brainwashed into classism and protectionism that it's difficult for people to embrace innovation unless it has a tag on it that's got a name brand connected to it that says, with this innovation, you'll be better than your next door neighbor.
Let's say if the devil comes to you, right? And so I'll give you $100 million, but I want you to turn your back on God. Would you turn your back on God, or will you take that $100 million?
In Hollywood and in the industry and the stuff we do, there's a lot of insider secrets to keeping your career going.
Tell you facts. Hear it. This industry is not what it seems to be. Listen, this is your rapper, you got 200 followers. I bet you there's rappers in here right now that can rap way better than me. You can rap way better than me. You will never be where I'm at because this industry is rigged. It's rigged.
Everything else is crap. I promise you.
I believe that I had to become a famous, idea.
Yeah.
And get all the stuff that people dream about, and accomplish a bunch of things that that look like success.
Everything around us that we call life was made up by people that are no smarter than you.
And it looks great. I mean, it looks great when you got a cool car and you got good, nice clothes, and and you've done something that people admire, but it can never fulfill you. You can never be happy. You know what I mean? It's not where happiness comes from.
I so badly want to be Catherine Hudson that I don't even want to look like Katy Perry anymore sometimes.
Okay.
The whole idea of celebrity and fame has become really convoluted.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
Yeah, well, sometimes they don't want to, and they're, Gaga, we can't get, the frequency's weird, and, it's sounding a little bit strange, and I'm like, if you don't get this right now, I swear to Lucifer, I'm gonna...
Did I sell my soul? I sold my soul for you. Now, figure that out. Talking about I sold my soul for you. For all you motherfuckers that's on here, that's asking me did I sell my soul, why the fuck is y'all on here if y'all think I sold my soul? Y'all coming right with me, you dummies.
I've seen so many people forsake their moral code and their value systems just for a little bit of fame, and it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's really not worth it.
In the music industry, it's still very much this exploitative thing. It's still very much people signing their life away, the old deal with the devil stuff. That is still going on. It's unbelievable in this day and age that is still going on.
So one night I was in my home studio, and it had to be like 8 to 10 people off in there. And we had beats and stuff playing in the background and everything. That's how we used to do it, you know what I'm saying? Everybody doing what they do, smoking, drinking and everything. And actually, it came down to it that dudes actually started being used by demonic spirits. And these spirits started speaking through them, you know what I'm saying? Devils started speaking through them, talking to me, asking me, you know what I'm saying, if I was going to sell my soul, telling me what I needed to do to take my career to the next level in darkness. I mean, dudes actually came up to me holding wads of money, saying, man, don't you want to make all this money?
You stupid bitch. You talking about my beads, devil worshiping beads. Cool, you hear me? But if you're a Christian, your Bible says you're supposed to love God, your neighbor as yourself, and your enemy. So if you're commanded to love me if I want to serve the devil. Are you a hypocrite?
A rapper kicks a female fan in the chest hard at a Polk County nightclub, and controversial video of the incident is blowing up online. Holly Bounds joins us now live from Lakeland outside Rumors nightclub. Holly?
Well, good evening to you, Jen. About 400 fans piled in here Friday night to see rapper Kevin Gates, but one who made it to the front row walked away in pain and headed to the hospital. A starstruck fan struck by the star himself. This video of a Lakeland teen getting a forceful kick from rapper Kevin Gates Friday.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my hand.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander
on this earth,
and this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
I make music for a purpose. It's not just background music, or it's not just, fluffy, light stuff.
This is not elevator satanic music.
It's ritualistic music. It is music that by even the act of listening to it, you are participating in a satanic ritual.
By listening to, so if I put this on and listen to it, I'm participating. But you're a listener. I'm asking you, how does it make you feel?
It's very stirring. It's very emotionally charged. You can't listen to this music and say you don't feel something, because you do. I'm sure you would probably feel either hate or fear or rage or something.
I don't know, maybe he's a great musician. I just say the guy's very talented.
Right, but I would say that someone who would listen to it would probably feel very similarly to
times like this to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that to shine like this. In a matter of time I spent on some locked up shit in the back of the paddy wagon, cuffs locked on the wrist. See my dreams unfold, nightmares come true.
We've all seen the symbols of the Super Bowl. Usually on stage, not in the crowd.
first thing Aleister Crowley teaches you in the 777 is to channel a powerful entity. Most of the time you get it out of a child. We'll talk about that later. But when this entity comes upon you, so what he did, he went and found the worshipers of Sybil, or we would say Cybele. Cybele was an ancient goddess. So those men that worshiped Cybele were different. They were called Corybants. They had their hair dressed and waved like women. They were heavily made up with their faces resembling whitewashed walls. They were castrated and keepers of children and infants, partaking in coming-of-age rituals and celebrations. They practiced magic and divination to make money. Listen to this. They made wild cries or high-pitched shrills while they performed their dances to the music of pipes and dull beats of the tambourine. Listen, when the deity or the gods would enter into them, they were possessed by divine power. They would dance uncontrollably in ecstatic
Crowley was one of the pantheon of cult figures portrayed on the cover of the Beatles record, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
I can't think of any other occultist who's been more influential on rock musicians than Aleister Crowley. No one close.
And he personally bragged of having slaughtered 150 male children in 1 year. This is why he was called the wickedest man in the world.
And through putting himself in deep hypnotic trances and the use of drugs on himself, he wanted to become the most powerful being in the world.
He was responsible for founding the religion and philosophy of sexual magic, Thelema, in which role he identified himself as the prophet entrusted with guiding humanity into the Aeon of Horus in the early 20th century.
He is a Freemason. It has its roots in Freemasonry and secret societies, which is essentially Luciferian doctrine. That is the sigil of Baphomet, the symbol of Baphomet.
I have found that at the very heart and core of all these secret societies lurks the Kabbalah.
A lot of the Kabbalah, a lot of ancient Egyptian deity as well.
In the Great Pyramid, Crowley conducted an occult ritual intending to access supernatural powers.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Love is the law. Love under will.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, and love is the law, love under will.
Do what thou wilt. Do what thou wilt.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Love is the law. Love is the only law.
I'm me. I'm doing what I want to do.
Dead giveaway that you need to see behind the curtain of Freemasonry. Do what thou wilt. Do whatever you want.
One of his mentors, Aleister Crowley. If you look at Jay-Z in this photo, you see him wearing a sweater. Do what thou will. Now that's a cliche.
Be a good baby. Do what I want. I do what I want. I say what I want.
Surely I'ma do what I want. Can I smoke so I'm faded?
Mr. Crowley has been instrumental throughout music for before I was born. You know what I mean? Led Zeppelin, the Beatles.
Aleister Crowley, a very famous occultist who practiced ritual magic. He conducted a ritual that's called the Amalantra working, and he made contact with an alien named Lamb. This alien entity that he drew out was the first gray alien.
Was, and he quoting Aleister Crowley's axiom, do what thou wilt, was the whole Beatles philosophy. He said in his interviews before his death was do what thou willst. And they put their heroes up on Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album, and who did they place there? Aleister Crowley. In fact, that whole album, as we show in our rockumentary, was basically a tribute to Crowley's New Eon, along with their Satanic Majesty's Request by the Stones that the Beatles put out with Sgt. Pepper. In fact, we make a really clear case for Sgt. Pepper being Crowley.
A very famous occultist who practiced ritual magic. He conducted a ritual that's called the Amalantra working, and he made contact with an alien named Lamb. This alien entity that he drew out was the first gray alien that was ever depicted. This magic ritual, it goes all the way back to the Book of Enoch. There were these fallen angels, they called the Watchers, and the Watchers came and they taught man how to use magic, and these entities taught them the Enochian language. Crowley said, okay, well, let's talk to these entities using that Enochian language. And he did that many times. For decades and decades, the government had this internal Pentagon group that said, hey, all this alien activity could be demonic in some way.
This is the Babylonian goddess Ishtar. This is Madonna honoring her. These people are following the ancient religion of Babylon.
If you notice, they use also backwards. It's haram to recite the Quran backwards. This is well known because in magic they recite things backwards.
In Lil Uzi Vert's music video, you can see Arabic letters written backwards. These are some nasty people. Everything on Ariana Grande's website is upside down.
Aleister Crowley taught them to learn how to talk backwards. John Lennon actually knew how to speak backwards. There's recordings of him speaking backwards. And they do backmasking.
The three ways Michael Jackson got his songs. The first way, Michael Jackson said, he told Martin Brashear on an interview that he would climb a tree called the Given Tree, the tree of knowledge. The tree of knowledge. Climb this tree, and he would get his songs. Second way, Aleister Crowley said in his book 777 that he had a room of mirrors, and if you look into a mirror, you can look into yourself, and you can channel the spirits of those that were before you. He's really saying that those that may have molested you, or those that may have taken from you, you can bring them back and ask them to be your guide and tell you why they did what they did to you. So Michael Jackson created a mirror, a room of mirrors that he could go in and channel spirits. And Michael Jackson chose a specific spirit. He says this, he says, I have my own secret room with a moving wall and mirrors. Okay, same room that Aleister Crowley had. He says, this is where I talk to Liberace. I hear his voice in there. I feel his presence so very close to me. He's like my guardian angel. He even gave me permission to record his title, I'll Be Seen. That's in the Psychic News in 1987. Liberace? Homosexual. Flamboyant homosexual. You channel the spirit of the most flamboyant homosexual of our time. And the third way is the way I believe Michael Jackson died. He said that his best songs came in dreams. Michael Jackson would channel Morpheus, the god of dreams, who studied under Serapis Bey. Serapis Bey is the image that Catholics use as the image of Christ, but it's not. He has the Ra, the sun god, behind his head. He looks just like Christ, but it's not. Just like Semiramis and Nimrod, that whole thing I told you about earlier. But he was an Egyptian incarnated god, so he would channel those spirits. He also channeled the spirits of Hypnos and Thanatos. Hypnos is the god of sleep. Thanatos is the god of death, and they're brothers along with Morpheus. Now, what becomes very dangerous about what Michael was doing, if you read, Michael Jackson would sleep sometimes 3 and 4 days at a time because he was trying to get hit songs. He even said one time that he couldn't go to sleep. He said a spirit told him that if he did not get to sleep to get this song, the spirit is going to give it to Prince. This is where the rivalry between him and Prince birthed in the 80s, if y'all remember that. But Michael needed to sleep. So they began to sedate him heavily so he could sleep the amount of time he needed to sleep to get hits. But a 50-year-old body trying to do a world tour, hungry for the next hit song, the right dosage. I know some people are saying, well, you haven't really convinced me. I'm about to. Michael Jackson had 2 albums that told everything that he was doing. The first album he had that I'm going to show you is his History album. He built a statue of himself like Nebuchadnezzar because that Nephilim spirit in him wanted to be worshipped. But if you zoom into his arm, there's a number on his arm. And that number is 777. 7. Aleister Crowley's book, 777. Quabbalistic writings. Channel Nephilim spirits for fame. Get your songs from the devil.
You need to see this. Won't be able to take it with you.
What really happened to Flight 370?
It's right there where that was coming from. There's one of the most evil, vicious Navy bases in the history of the planet. They do stuff that would make Hitler look like Santa Claus. Diego Garcia.
So...
Wait.
Sorry.
Diego Garcia. That's where that first Malaysian plane is. That's where it landed. It had 4 scientists on it. Huh? 20 scientists, but 4 had filed for patents. It was Malaysia, but they worked out of Austin, Texas for Texas Instrument. All right. And the ones behind that plane was Texas Instrument, the government,
and Boeing, who made the plane. And everybody is stupid enough to believe that a plane almost a block long can just disappear. With the electronics we have, all the technology we have, the next generation of cars will come out, there'll be no driver. So when I was talking to this scientist about it, I said, well, they're paddy wagons too. He said, yeah, why you ask that? I said, well, there's just more room to put riders. No, that's where we are. About just been here, okay? And so when you stop and think about, you know, the stuff, so we got 4 of those top scientists that had filed for patents worth $400 billion. Okay? So if 1, 2, 3 of us and your brother, 4, we filed for patents. And then here's a friend of yours who's with us. So 5 of us filed for patents. If we die before the patent is granted, then your brother, who wasn't on the plane with us, he owns them all. So those 4 scientists, and the 5th person was the Carlyle Group. They own them all now. The patent was granted 3 days after the plane was missing. Wow. Okay? And so what I'm saying is, this is the game, and if you can't follow that thread, then you don't see it. That's crazy.
What were the patents for?
Huh?
What were the patents for?
Well, the patents was, you heard people talk about they're gonna one day inject you and can control you. Well, these guys come up with something, they don't have to inject you, they just put it in this room and you come in and you smell it. That's what they were for.
Okay.
And that's why they killed them. They might have not killed them, they might just let them sit there.
It's a project first dreamed up by the military to get information from the battlefield.
They call it smart dust, and the new technology may soon make it possible to keep track of anything, anywhere, including you.
Smart dust originated with DARPA back in the 90s. This powder-sized chip is something called the Mu chip from Hitachi. It's the smallest commercially available RFID system in the world. You can literally scatter this stuff like dust or embed it into a sheet of paper. It doesn't require a battery. Flecks of computing power settling on your skin, ingested, monitoring you inside and out.
The nanoparticles are designed to go under the radar of the immune system, and so they are undetected in the body.
We have computing everywhere, we have connectivity everywhere, we have infrastructure that can compute those with new capabilities like AI.
If you have enough data and you have enough computing power, you can understand people better than they understand themselves, and then you can manipulate them in ways which were previously impossible.
Transhumanism is a growing movement that aims to use technology to modify our bodies, sometimes in radical ways to make them stronger, faster, and better.
We are at war with AI. AI is rapidly taking over every industry, including ours. So what does that mean? Soon they can use actors' likeness and create films by using artificial intelligence. They're already doing it with the scripts. They're already doing it with writers. And so this is a big reason why the 2 of us are striking, along with other reasons like residual payments.
Come here, let me talk to you about something. Now, we already know that AI has been taking over the music industry. You know, creating songs from the voices of people who are no longer on this earth. Y'all trying to figure out why season 3 of Euphoria is being pushed back to 2025 is because of AI. Writers from all of your favorite TV networks. Basically, all the writers from your favorite TV shows are being told, yeah, we're just gonna have AI write all the scripts, but then you're gonna revise it and we're just gonna pay you less. Are y'all not seeing that this is becoming a little bit too much? Elon Musk's brain chip has been approved for human trial. Now AI is reaching out to be inside of our heads. Wait. What about the fact that they are in the police system?
Robots will now take their place beside the city's men and women in blue.
We got robo-cops. We got robo-dog. You see that? You see that? That is a robot. A robotic fly that is used in the U.S. military. Look at it. Look at it. See, here's the issue. Y'all don't listen, and that's the problem. Did you watch the movie? So ain't nobody watched Transformers. What happened in the 100 is what's happening right now. Learn something with me real quick. Everything is spiritual before it is physical. Think about it real quick. What if AI is an actual entity? Watch this next clip with the open mind.
You're going to have your holy water out, and you're going to wave it at the thing, and by God, it's going to do exactly what you say and not one thing more, but it never works out that way. So this is an attitude that some are having, this emerging alarmism about the way this is going to go. Yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there, but they're not good, they're not evil. They just don't give a shit about you even in the slightest.
Even with Elon Musk, he said, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. Y'all be watching these movies where these bots becoming conscious. Where do you think that consciousness is coming from? Everything comes from something. It's getting too much in advancement where they can reveal what people are thinking. Let me just give y'all a backstory on this TV show called The 100. This is Allie. She is what you would call artificial intelligence.
It's Allie. She got out. She's on the grid. She's cracking systems. She just got through portal security for Stratcom in Omaha. What is she doing? She's hacking nuclear launch codes. Why? Too many people.
She ended up destroying the entire world because of what she was programmed to protect humanity. Then she created an artificial city, basically a simulation, force-feeding people this chip so they would be in her simulation, basically controlling humans like in the Matrix. Now, we all have a consciousness, and I'm pretty sure y'all can tell that AI has a consciousness itself. Now, what if this AI consciousness came from a different place, just like the Transformers, and is now making deals with the elites to integrate more and more into our society to copy and create its own world? Hopefully you can follow what I'm about to say. Source, what you would call God, created everything, right? Aliens, lions, souls, heaven, everything you can possibly think of, positive and negative. We are the result of Source creating. Even aliens, mermaids, all of that. Now, what if AI is the same thing created from Source? Sometimes your kids are going to want to rebel, be its own creator. Now you have this being that wants to copy its parent and be a creator, but in its own way. Now AI is trying to convert us into its control. I hope y'all can understand that. But y'all stay dangerous. We watched the movie The Matrix. I try to keep it as simple as I can on TikTok, but if y'all want the rest of this video, go to my YouTube.